everyone, welcome to another plan with me. This week I'm planning for the week of June 8th through the 14th, and I'm using the Summer Nights kit from Scribble Co. I do have the Ultimate kit this week because the extra boxes in the Ultimate kit I had to have. So I went with the Ultimate kit for this week, and I love the way it turned out. These colors are really pretty, these like dark summer sunset vibes I'm definitely here for. It was a pretty chill week overall, but I did have some good stuff that happened and some not so good stuff that happened, but you will see how that all works out. So now I'm just working on deciding on my full boxes. There were a lot of really good options with this kit, especially because I had the Ultimate, which has the 2 extra boxes, plus I had the Fashion Girls, and I definitely needed to use the girl with the like ombre hair because it was just gorgeous. I will just let the rest of this base play out, and then I will be back to do the sidebar and to get into the day by day. So starting off on my sidebar, I did already put down the full boxes because I knew that I wanted to use the 2 extra full boxes in the sidebar, and then it was just one less sheet for me to flip through when I was trying to make all my full box decisions. So I did put in the habit trackers. I used the first one to track watering my strawberries every day. I actually picked my first fresh strawberries today, and they were delicious, and I was really excited. And then the second habit tracker I used to track my Jalen Paper Co. PR posts. If you guys didn't already know, I do PR for Jalen Paper Co. and I have a code and a little freebie and everything. If you're interested, definitely check out the description. I'll have all of the information linked down there. Then I put in the glitter header and then a squared off half box. I've been using that half box to mark what week of quarantine I'm in. I believe this was week 12. Maybe it was 13. No, I think it was 12. It was 12. Yikes. What even is time anymore? And then I put in another glitter header and one of the squared off boxes. This week I used that box to mark that I sent some graduation gifts to my best friend and her little ones. Or maybe not so little ones anymore, but whatever. They're always little to me. Getting into the day by day, first thing on Monday, I wanted to put in that I filmed all the things. I filmed a couple of different bases and weekly spreads. I was trying to kind of catch up on my filming. So I used this banana YouTube sticker from Sprinkled Pug to mark that. And while I was filming, I was listening to all of the Eliza Schlesinger stand-ups on Netflix. She's one of my favorite comedians, and I actually listened to all of her stand-ups not that long ago, but I needed it in my life. So it was kind of my background for while I was filming. And to mark that, I used this Success Girl from Creative Cat. I did cut off the success because it wasn't really about the success, but without it, I figured she kind of looks like she's laughing and just like enjoying herself, and that was basically how I felt about it. I didn't love the spacing on that, so I did end up pulling it up and moving it up a little bit to make enough room for the squared off box that I was using. I used the squared off box to mark that I had therapy this day. I have therapy every Monday, but I like putting it in my planner because I like going to therapy. So there you go. And this week is probably the last week that I'm going to be doing my therapy online. I am actually going to be seeing my therapist in person soon, which I'm honestly really stoked about. We're taking a lot of precautions, but it will be nice to at least be in the same room with a human being again. So apparently I'm obsessing over the spacing of my stickers. Get over it. It's fine. Move on. So for therapy, I do use the Skype emoji from Coffee Monsters Co., since this is what my appointments currently look like. Moving on to the second half of the day, I used a quarter box to mark that we had Applebee's for dinner. And to mark that, I used the Starshine hugging the bee. She's like dressed like a bee, and she's hugging the little Jalen Paperco bee. And I thought it was funny. And then I'm putting in a fancy label. Still trying to figure out my spacing. I wish I could just let it go, but apparently I can't. I end up switching this box a lot, unfortunately, because I just could not make it fit the way that I wanted it to fit, apparently. But anyway, the next thing that I put in was a piece of the blue washi, and I used that to mark that we were watching Grey's Anatomy this night. I watch Grey's Anatomy pretty much every night, but I don't always put it in. I usually just use that to kind of fill space if nothing else was going on. And to mark that, I used an emoji watching TV. I feel like I just ordered this sheet, but I also feel like that's all I do lately. That's all I do lately is watch TV, so I feel like I need to order more. And then, apparently slightly off camera, I used a Joy of Planning girl holding her stickers to mark that I was pre-planning, pulling out my stickers for this spread. Moving on to Tuesday, the first thing I put in was that my strawberries made a new friend. I went to water my strawberries, and this little frog just like scared the crap out of me because, I wasn't expecting my strawberries to move. So they had a happy little friend, and I thought that the sticker was perfect. I I believe it's the spring critters from Coffee Monsters Co., like the spring critter onesies, but this is the like Kermit sipping that tea. That's none of my business. And I love it. It's so beautiful. Next thing, I was watching Legend of Korra this day. I've rewatched Avatar like a million times, at least 3 times since they put it on Netflix. And so I finally found that I could watch Legend of Korra on CBS All Access, so I signed up for that and started this day. And I just used the little icon from the sheet, and it happened to match the mini label perfectly, so that was exciting. Then I was filming some more and also editing, so I used this little, like, I think it used to be the book labels, but now it's just the little squared labels. And I use Starshine holding her phone because I do film and edit on my phone. Even though she's technically taking a selfie, it still works. Next thing was that I placed an order from Jalen Paper Co. this day. I'm super excited to get my Happy Mail from her. Post office has been messing with my emotions, but hopefully this time things come through. And I used a Sailor Jupiter sticker from Jalen Paper Co. to mark that. I put in another skinny label to mark that I was watching CR Guide this day. It's a new show from Critical Role. It's like TV Guide, like Channel 0, scrolling through the menu, but all like D&D Critical Role themed, and it's ridiculous. And they also included like little clips of like bloopers, and it was just all around a good time. So I used the like foam finger thumbs up girl from Planner Studio for that. It was also garbage night on Tuesday, so I used a little thing, and I end up just using the trash icon from the sheet. The sticker I had pulled was from Paper and Milk, and it just turned out to be too big for the space, even though Maro is so stinking cute. And the icon happened to match the little thing, which again was like a total fluke, but it works for me. And then the last thing, I used a strip of the washi to mark that I was watching panels on YouTube from different cons of Laura Bailey and Travis Willingham because I love them and I just like listening to them talk and all of their voices and answer questions and stuff. I just love it. So I used a YouTube play button from Planning Happy, I believe is what it's called. Now I can't think. I feel like that's right. I will link all of the shops in my description, so if I forget to mention something or if I say the wrong thing because I'm crazy, like it will all be linked down below. On Wednesday, the first thing I did was record my voiceover. So I used one of the YouTuber emojis, and I'm running super low on this sheet, so the ones that I had are too big, so I just cut it down and put him on the like fancy label. The next thing was that I really wanted to try using these little square boxes because I love the way that Kirsten and Andrea use them. So I put that in with this girl with the drill from Joy of Planning to mark that I was building a fire pit table for my mom. She got it a couple of years ago and it had just been sitting outside apparently waiting for me to build it. So I did that and it was kind of gross, but whatever. The next thing I put in was a skinny label with an emoji saying yay because my Juvia's Place order shipped this day and I could not wait to get it. I have since received it and it was so good. I've been playing with it and just like I've apparently developed some kind of obsession with makeup lately, and the palette that I got is just so gorgeous. I got the nudes and it's just like, it's perfect. I love it. Moving on, I uploaded my plan with me this day, and since it was the grad spread for Aurora's kindergarten graduation, I used the Starshine cosplaying as Aurora, Sleeping Beauty, to mark uploading my plan with me. I also posted on Instagram, so I used a quarter box to mark that, and I used a Murphy holding the Instagram icon from Beloved by Him. And then the last thing I put in this day was that I had an upset stomach. I'm not sure why I put it on this day in particular, because my stomach was like trying to kill me literally every day all week. But apparently it was important that I know on this day it was apparently worth marking. So I used a kawaii toilet from Jalen Paper Co. to mark that my stomach is an asshole. Before I move on to the second half of the week, I did remember that I always skip putting down my stickers in my sidebar, so then you guys don't ever get to like see those. So I just kind of went back really quick to put those in. I use the Joy of Planning girl like looking out her window to mark quarantine week 12. And then I use this You Plan You girl with the unicorn onesie reading a book to mark the kids' graduation gifts, because each kid got a book. Starting on the second half of the week, the first thing I put in on Thursday was that I placed another order from Juvia's Place. I got a notification that there had been a restock on the Violets eyeshadow palette that I really wanted, and so I went to buy it, and then also ended up buying some foundation and concealer because I really want to try those. They have such an amazing selection of like colors, and I'm super pale, so I have a really hard time finding foundation that actually works, so I was interested in trying theirs. I haven't gotten that yet, but it should be here actually tomorrow, depending on when you guys are watching this video, but soon. It should be here soon, and I'm super stoked. So I used a fancy label to mark that, and then I used this like lipstick sticker that I had on an old Jalen Paper Co. freebie, and I just trimmed it down because it was a little too big. The next thing was that I posted an Insta story, so I used the Lunapi from the Sailor Moon deco from Jalen Paper Co. I honestly need like a full sheet of just Lunapi because I just think it's adorable. Next thing was that I went to the post office this day. Gross. But I did use this super cute Grin and Barrett berry at the mailbox. After the post office, I went to Walgreens, just like the drive-through, to pick up a prescription for my dad. It actually only took like 5 minutes, and usually the Walgreens drive-through here takes like years off your life. It's terrible. But it actually took like a couple of minutes. I was like in and out. It was great. So I used the Fluffy Maru little like pill bottle to mark going to Walgreens. And then I needed to go get my carpet cleaner from Amber, and her kids, my kids, had presents for me, which was super sweet. Mona drew me the cutest, like, chibi kawaii picture of Ariel and Flounder, and she's my favorite, so, like, it was super cute. And then they also made me these little soot sprites out of the little like pom-pom balls with googly eyes on them. And it was super cute. Like, I miss them so much. It was really sweet. So I used a soot sprite and little star piece from Once More with Love. And then after that, I called my sister, and we ended up talking on the phone for like at least 2.5 hours, if not close to 3 hours, which is pretty normal for us, especially when I was living like long distance. We would talk on the phone for just like hours, but we actually only live a couple of blocks away at this point, but still, 3 hours on the phone. So I used this Coffee Monsters Co., like checking in with a friend phone sticker. It wasn't really like a hey, are you okay, like check in. It was just us talking, but still, those stickers are super cute, so it works for me. On Friday, the first thing I put in was that I somehow slept for 12 hours. It's not that uncommon for me to sleep a lot, but I was honestly really surprised. Like, I hadn't done that in a while. I don't know. I honestly think my body was just so tired from how much pain I had been in that it was just like, nah, we're gonna sleep. So I used a label and a Fluffy Maru Sprinkles Sleepy sticker. Next thing was that I needed to write out my choreography this day. I'm not able to work in the studio and with my kids, but they are preparing for hopefully being able to have a recital in a couple of months. So the teachers who are able to work with them needed my choreography. So I wrote that out and I used a Coffee Monsters Co. like ballerina emoji for that. And then the next thing I put in was that I went to Michael's this day. I decided to cross stitch something for my boyfriend for his birthday, and so I needed to get some thread and some fabric for that. This is literally the first time I have gone to a store or Michael's in general in months and months, like for reals forever. And I used a Joy of Planning shopping girl for that. And when I got to Michael's, I got out of my car and took maybe 2 or 3 steps, and I stepped on a huge piece of glass. It was like a broken like glass bottle, so it was like round, and it went up through my shoe and into my foot. And it hurt, but like I was so freaked out because I was like, seriously, like dirty glass just went into my foot. Like I couldn't look at it because I was just like freaking out. It was bad. It turned out to like not be that bad as far as the part that actually stabbed me. Like the part that went through my shoe was a lot thicker than the part that actually poked my foot, but still I was really unhappy about it. So I used an emoji with like band-aids on it to mark stepping on glass. And then when I went home, I mean, I like cleaned and disinfected my foot and all of that, but I was just like, I was in a really bad mood. I was really upset. So I just curled up in bed and was watching Sailor Moon Crystal on Hulu. So I used a Sailor Mercury sticker from Jalen Paper Co. to mark watching Sailor Moon. And then I did actually start my cross-stitch project this day, so I used the little like needle and thread sticker from Fluffy Maru to mark working on the cross-stitch. And then the last thing that I was going to put in was that like I had a headache, I had a stomach ache, I was just like, ugh, this day. So what I ended up doing is just putting in a little strip of the patterned washi and this Planner Studio girl like taking off her bra, and underneath it just says day over because I was just like done. On Saturday, the first thing I put in was one of the square boxes to mark that I was working outside. My mom was trying to get ready for her like anniversary dinner. It was my parents' anniversary on Sunday, so we had like a family dinner that I wasn't super happy about happening, but like didn't have a lot of say in the matter. So it happened. It's fine. So I was helping her clean outside in the yard, and so I used a little honeybee sticker from Joy of Planning, kind of like worker bee, right? And then I did what I call vacuum surgery. So my mom went to vacuum and it wasn't working, and she looked underneath it and there was so much hair wrapped around the like brush on the bottom that it wouldn't move. So I was trying to clean it off, but it still wouldn't move. I ended up literally unscrewing the entire bottom of the vacuum, pulling it all apart and cleaning it out. Like I figured out the problem, cleaned it all out, and then I like couldn't get it back together. It was just like a whole thing. So I did end up fixing it. I did do it. but I used a Coffee Monsters Co. emoji with the vacuum to mark that. And then again, I really wasn't feeling well, so I just wanted to lay down. Like, I didn't end up sleeping or anything, I just really wanted to lay down. So I went and laid down and just kind of cuddled with my cats, which was nice. And then I watched Narrative Telephone this day from Critical Role. It is the funniest show I've ever seen. If you want to look it up on YouTube, it's like Telephone, but they tell these like ridiculous stories and then they just like super screw them up, and it's beautiful and hilarious. So I use this kind of like ridiculous emoji from the emoji heads. I can't remember, I think it's part 7, but it could be part 8. I honestly cannot remember which one's which. And then we had tacos this night, which is my favorite thing, and I didn't really mean to mark it in this big of a box, but it's just kind of the way that it worked out. And I used the like derpy taco bear from Bubba Bear to mark taco night. And then the last thing I put in was a little thing to mark watching Grey's Anatomy again this night with the Netflix emoji. And then, like I said, on Sunday it was my parents' anniversary. It was their 45th wedding anniversary. And I realized that I literally don't own any, like, wedding stickers, except for the wedding stickers that I got to match my best friend and her husband, but they don't at all match my parents. And all of my couple stickers don't match my parents because I got them to look like me and my boyfriend, so it didn't really work out. But the 45th wedding anniversary is the sapphire anniversary, so I used the super gorgeous butterfly sticker from Joy of Planning that has the like dark blue wings because I feel like that works, and she's gorgeous, so whatever. And then while I was waiting for it to be my turn to shower, somehow I always end up going last, but whatever, I was watching makeup videos on YouTube because I really wanted to play with makeup this day. I didn't end up getting to play with makeup until a couple of days later, but still, I was watching these like fabulous people on YouTube and just like wondering why I'm not that fabulous, but I'm working on it. So I used an emoji looking at his phone, and then I took a long shower. And by long, I mean like an hour, maybe a little bit more, because when I got in the shower, I realized that like with the heat and the relax and all the wonderful things about taking a shower was that my stomach stopped hurting. And at this point, it was the first time in 8 days that my stomach stopped hurting. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take my time. I don't care that people are coming over for dinner. I'm gonna shower and I'm gonna not feel like dying for a minute. So I just like relaxed, I shaved, it was beautiful, felt good. And as soon as I got out of the shower, my stomach started to hurt again, and I was so mad. But whatever, at least I had an hour to myself. So I used a Joy of Planning girl to mark my shower, and then we had a family dinner to celebrate my parents' anniversary. We had so much food, and it was just like, it was all so good, and I was not expecting it to go well because, like I said, my stomach's a mess, but none of it made me sick, and it was all super delicious, and it was just like, it was really exciting. The next thing is kind of silly, but it made me happy. My nephew, Xander, just turned 3, and he didn't really know me for the first 2 years of his life because I didn't live here. So now that I've moved back, like, he does not like me, but recently he has decided that he does. And I was like cleaning up and he came outside and he was like, Auntie Katie, what are you doing? And I was just like, oh my gosh, like, you know my name? Like, I don't know. I like made me tear up. Like, I was so happy. It was dumb, but whatever. So I used an OMG emoji, like happy crying, to mark that. And then the next thing was that I gave my nephew Gavin one of his birthday presents. His birthday's actually coming up soon, but I've had this present for like years. I bought it for him in Disneyland and then just like never saw him to give it to him. So I gave him, they're like the Stormtrooper handcuffs, and he loved them. So I used a Stormtrooper from Jalen Paper Co. for that. And then I ended up going to my sister's house to let her into her house because her husband accidentally locked her out. So I used a sister time sticker from Happy Diet to mark going to her house because if I go to my sister's house, like, I'm gonna be there for a while. It's just like a fact of life. So here's my spread all filled out and decoed and beautiful. I love the way it turned out. I think that it's a really pretty, like, start to summer, even though my summer is basically going to consist of me being at home. But at least my planner is pretty. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know in the comments down below any other planner videos you would like to see. And please like and subscribe if you're not already. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.